Aliens, UFOs, and UAPs 1947. What if some of the most powerful governments on Earth have already confirmed that something unknown is flying in our skies, but they refuse to tell us exactly what it is? For decades, witnesses have been mocked, silenced, or ignored, yet their stories never went away. From small desert towns to military bases, from quiet forests to crowded cities, the same question keeps returning: are we alone, or have we never been? Tonight, we're diving into 5 of the most disturbing and mysterious UFO and alien encounters ever recorded. Some were seen by thousands. Others were experienced by ordinary people whose lives were never the same again. And by the end of this video, you may start questioning everything you think you know about reality. Number 5. The Roswell Incident, 1947, the crash that started it all. When something dropped from the sky close to Roswell, New Mexico, in the summer of 1947, history was irrevocably altered. William Mack Brazel, a rancher, found odd trash strewn all over his property, metallic pieces that were unlike anything he had ever seen, extremely light and unburnable. The world was shocked when the U.S. Army arrived and announced in a press release that they had found a flying disc. Within hours, that claim was abruptly withdrawn and replaced with a new explanation: it was simply a weather balloon. However, the harm had already been done. Why would the military suddenly worry and alter their account after announcing a flying disc? Witnesses, including members of the armed forces, have come forward throughout the decades, alleging that the crash involved sealed cargo trucks, non-human bodies, and warnings to remain silent. Many people think this was merely another cover tale, but the government later presented Project Mogul as the real explanation. Roswell sowed tremendous mistrust, in addition to creating UFO legend. Why did the tale keep altering if it was nothing at all? And why is Roswell still classified in some areas? Number 4. Betty and Barney Hill Abduction, 1961, the first alien abduction case. Late one night in 1961, Betty and Barney Hill were driving home through the quiet roads of New Hampshire when they noticed a strange light following their car. At first, they thought it was a star, but the light moved intelligently. It descended, and then everything went blank. Hours later, the couple found themselves far down the road with no memory of how they got there. Their watches had stopped. Their clothes were torn. And both felt an overwhelming sense of fear they couldn't explain. Under hypnosis, the Hills independently described being taken aboard a craft by small humanoid beings with large eyes. They spoke of medical examinations, strange instruments, and telepathic communication. Most chilling of all, Betty later drew a star map that astronomers would later say closely matched the Zeta Reticuli star system, something she had no known knowledge of at the time. Skeptics call it imagination. Supporters call it the first documented alien abduction. Either way, the Hills never sought fame, and they spent the rest of their lives standing by their story. Number 3. The Phoenix Lights 1997 thousands saw the same thing. Arizonans glanced up on the evening of March 13, 1997, and froze in shock. Stars behind it were obscured as a huge, quiet V-shaped cluster of lights swept slowly across the sky. This was not a far-off object or a fleeting flash. It was huge. Pilots, police, and even the state governor were among the thousands who observed it. There were too many calls on the phone lines. News outlets were unable to keep up. The military said a few days later that flares dropped during a training exercise were the source of the lights. Witnesses, however, maintain that the explanation does not fit what they observed, because flares do not wipe out the entire sky, move in formation, or remain completely silent. The governor of Arizona said years later that he had made fun of the incident in public, but knew in private that the truth was much more upsetting. What thousands of witnesses witnessed that night hanging over a major American metropolis has yet to be adequately explained by any official explanation. Number 2. Rendlesham Forest Incident, 1980, Britain's Roswell. Strange lights were seen descending into Rendlesham Forest near a nuclear weapons installation in December 1980, according to U.S. Air Force troops stationed at RAF Woodbridge in England. To investigate, trained military men, not civilians, went into the jungle. What they encountered would haunt them forever. They spoke of a triangular object that was lying on the ground, covered with odd symbols and radiating light. According to some, touching the thing caused it to react. Witnesses observed beams of light shooting into the sky and down into the weapons storage area over several nights. Official reports were submitted. Levels of radiation were tested and verified. Senior officers attested to the fact that an unidentified incident had taken place. However, the incident was later written off by the UK Ministry of Defence as a lighthouse and misidentified stars. That explanation was both impossible and offensive to the men present. How can a lighthouse cause radiation on the ground and burn marks on trees? Number 1. Travis Walton Abduction, 1975, 5 Days Gone. In 1975, logger Travis Walton vanished after a glowing object descended in the Arizona woods. His co-workers watched in horror as a beam of light struck him and threw his body backward. Panicked, they fled, believing he was dead. When Travis didn't return, the men were accused of murder. Then, 5 days later, Travis reappeared confused, dehydrated, and traumatized. Walton claimed he woke up aboard a craft surrounded by non-human beings. He described floating rooms, strange technology, and humanoid figures. What makes this case so powerful is that multiple witnesses saw the initial encounter and passed lie detector tests. Despite ridicule and investigation, no evidence ever proved it was a hoax. Travis never changed his story. Whatever happened to him changed his life and terrified an entire town. These cases span decades, continents, and thousands of witnesses. Different people, different places. Same question. Are these just coincidences or pieces of a much larger puzzle? Governments now openly admit that UAPs exist but refuse to say what they are. So the real mystery isn't whether something is out there. It's why we're not being told the truth. If you think these stories are just the beginning, make sure you like the video, subscribe for more unexplained mysteries, and comment below, do you believe we've already been visited? Because whatever is watching us may already know we're watching back.